Parker Street is a half-hour of almost animated, stick-figure storyboarded shorts. Each episode is its own short story, or 7. So one week may be a funny story about a failed clown that quits the circus to become an investment banker, but every blundered attempt to appear in a professional manner makes him much more hilarious than he ever was as a clown. Or it could be an adventure story about 2 pirate brothers who search for treasure in the Arctic. Or a crazy, scary, twilighty, zony type of story about a man who grows a haunted beard that makes him rob convenience stores against his will, which is probably less scary and just plain crazy. Parker Street is mostly narrated with this crazy, sped-up voice to pack more story in, but mostly from keeping the creator from the torture of listening to his own recorded voice while editing. Parker Street is non-stop storytelling with mind-bending original music, the likes of these guys. It's combined with simple, to-the-point drawings like this, instead of this, or this, in order to convey emotion while still letting the audience use their imagination. Parker Street is intended as not dumbed-down, late-night TV action, designed for the insomniac channel surfer to happen across, stop and say, "What the heck is this?" and like a stick-figured Venus flytrap, suck them into an insatiable story. And that's why it's made for Insert Network here. I know what you're thinking. It's incredibly personable to boot. Sirens blare everywhere. Ambulances, police cars, and fire trucks scream and shout while blinding onlookers with an epileptic's nightmare of flashes. News vans evacuate with reporters and cameramen. A huge crowd of onlookers push forward as duty cops try to keep them at bay. SWAT teams stream out of huge armored vehicles. Out of this sea of chaos, the World Bank headquarters, a huge black monolith of steel and glass, stands strong. The further up it rises, the calmer and quieter it gets, until none of the chaos below can be heard. A man in a suit stands at the top of the skyscraper looking down. A gigantic thug carrying an assault rifle steps up next to him. "They look like ants," he says. "Yes," replies the man. "I've poked their little anthill, and now they're in a tizzy." The man turns, followed by the thug, passes the helipad, and waves his arm, to which the helicopter pilot starts the engine. The man goes down 2 flights of stairs into a large room. A sizable group of hostages are tied up and henchmen keep their guns aimed at them. A group of safecrackers are working diligently on a highly advanced and sophisticated vault. The man walks to the window, looks back down at the swarm of police, and smiles. Back down on the ground, the police chief briefs a bureau man. "We've tried everything and gotten nowhere. That is the most heavily fortified building in the world." "Could we blow it up?" says the bureau man. "Are you daft?" yells the chief. "There are hostages in there. Our only hope is our man on the inside. A rogue cop that had the misfortune to be visiting his ex-wives in that building when the terrorists took it over. He managed to take a few of those bastards down, but he won't take orders from me. He's a rough, do-it-yourself loner that has a problem with authority. We had him on the radio, but lost him when he started crawling through the air ducts. If you get him back on the comm, you tell him not to do a thing. This is my show," says the bureau man as he storms off. The chief grimaces and looks up to the top of the building. "God help us." The smart-alecky, 5 o'clock shadowed cop is silently making his way through the ducts. He looks through the vent and spies the safecrackers and the hostages. He sees the man in the suit pull out a remote from his jacket with a big red button on it. The sarcastic, line-quipping cop pulls out his gun and starts to take aim as the man in the suit presses the button. The vent explodes in a flash, and the cop falls onto the marble floor. 2 henchmen quickly grab him and hold him up. "Ah, Sergeant Connor," says the man in the suit. "Or should I say Mr. Connor, since you lost your badge? You and I know that you set me up, con queso," says the cop. "But since we have this moment, I have to ask. Why tip the police? You could have stolen the gold without the show. What was your escape plan?" "Well, I'm glad you asked," says the man. As he begins to answer, the cop stealthily reaches in his back belt line for a small pop shooter. "You see, my plan was to..." "Oh no! I didn't just shoot you without telling you the plan, did I? Oh, how foolish of me. In the head! You just got shot! In the head! In the head! In the head!" "How much longer, boys?" "5, maybe 10 minutes," says the safecrackers. "In the head now. In the head." Back on the street, a cop approaches the chief. "We've lost radio contact with our inside man." "Damn it all," says the chief. "It's our turn," says the bureau man. He walks over to a black Humvee. The window rolls down and smoke comes out. They've just lost their inside man. A huge, muscle-bound, cigar-chomping Bavarian steps out of the Hummer. "Time to send a man inside." He walks over to a helicopter, jumps in, and it starts up the building. The bodybuilding, special ops, horror pun-delivering menace readies a rocket launcher. The Huey reaches the top floor window. Knock, knock. Just then, from 2 floors below, an enormous flock of doves are released, flying up into the helicopter's rotors, causing it to spin out of control. The bulging man of muscle jumps at the last second, pulling out special suction cups that adhere to the side of the building as the helicopter falls to the ground below. The man in the suit walks up to the window, while the oversized man balloon grunts. The man in the suit pulls out from his jacket a glass cutter. "Hey, you're not supposed to..." A perfect cut circle of glass falls out to the street below. There is a huge splat on the pavement, and a cigar flies through the air. It is caught by an old, weathered, no-nonsense detective. "Shame to waste a good cohiba," he says, chomping down on the stogie. "Don't even think about going up there, detective. Last time you wrecked 3 cop cars, 7 city buses, and demolished St. John's Cathedral. You're a loose cannon, McDougal." "It's all right, Chief," says the leather-faced detective. "I'm just going to have a talk with the man." He walks right past the SWAT team leader into the front doors, past the broken glass. The terrorists, taken aback by the straightforward nature of this old-timer, raises their Uzis. But the stalwart detective pulls out from his jacket an enormous hand cannon and blows each villain away in deafening shots. He then walks up to the elevator and presses the top floor button. As it's going up, the elevator starts filling up with a thick smoke, and the old coot dies then and there from emphysema.